Okay, to summarize what we had discussed in the class, uh, we talked about futures. Futures are just like forwards. Okay, there is a price which is a delivery price, and then there's a delivery date. Okay, and you have to buy the product. You have to buy the asset, or if you're a person holding the contract. Now the only extra thing is that these get marked to the market daily. What that means is, say tomorrow, there's a buyer and a seller. There will be a margin account, okay, for the buyer as well as seller, where they'll deposit some money. This is how this futures contract work, unlike a forward. Okay. Then what is going to happen is, say the price of the futures in the market, like say you got into a future contract for a delivery price of 100. Say in the market now futures are coming for the same delivery of the same asset at the same time, but at a delivery price of 99. So then the futures, what they will do is they will mark this particular future also for a 99 rupees delivery price, and in order to make up for the fact that the buyer had to pay 100 rupees, what they will do is they will transfer 1 rupee from the buyer's account to the seller's account. Okay. So in case like the price doesn't change anytime in the future and the interest rates were zero, then in that particular case, in the end, the buyer basically ends up paying 100 rupees to the seller, 99 rupees here and 1 rupee which was already given. Okay. So this is what is happening with the futures contracts, where they get marked to the margin daily. That is, they're basically marked to the values of the futures. Okay. The main issue that I had said was, in all of these contracts, right? When I had gone to the forward contract, where is this? Yeah. When I was talking about a forward contract, okay. Uh, yeah. The main issue is, like, anytime you get into a contract, whether futures, anything, the main thing is determine the delivery price. Okay, because that is the price at which the contract is set for something to be delivered somewhere in the future. This thing was the main thing to be delivered. The way we had done it in the forward contract was, you evaluate this price was, you construct a portfolio of a zero value, okay, and then you look at that particular portfolio at expiry. The thing is, because you have shorted an asset that was there over here, that asset position was just cancelling the ST that was there in the gain, and you got this expression. Okay. But this expression that is there, which is delivering the delivery price, which is telling you the delivery price, is is the constraint there is that this is that when you're constructing these portfolios, okay, there was no added value. All that was there was the portfolio was constructed in the beginning, and then you're seeing how that portfolio is in the end. However, so there was no addition of value to the portfolio. But as I saw it in the futures, in the case of the futures, say your portfolio that is there will always be money added or removed from your account in order to meet the market margin. Okay, in order to get all the futures to get your futures contract to the price of the market. So that means there is value getting added. So you couldn't be using this argument over here to get this particular value. Okay, to get the value of f. However, it turns out that in case interest rates are already known upfront, okay, that is the thing is, as far as interest rates themselves go, they themselves can change with time. The reason is, the banks themselves can basically try to change the interest rates in order to take care of certain economic policies for the country. But in case that the interest rates are going to be fixed upfront, then the futures and forwards are priced similarly. So in that particular case, what you have is that the future will also be having this kind of a equation. That is, in case the interest rate was constant, this is the equation that you would had. Okay. So the thing is, if the interest rates are not upfront, then a future and forward are priced similarly. So the pricing will always be like this. Again, we will be showing that with using the Black-Scholes methodology if the interest rate is constant. Okay. So the thing is, if the interest rate is not even constant in time, the statement is that these will be priced similarly. At least that is what I feel the statement is. Okay. But if we have, as far as our lectures go, we'll be considering interest rates that are there which are constant, and in that particular case, the future and the forwards are basically having the same expression. Okay. Now, yeah, so that is why anytime in this, like the coming lecture that I will be talking about, that is why I told you guys that when I went over here, when I was talking about evaluation of FX futures, okay, which was there in the lecture 1 or lecture 2, okay, the methodology that I used was again arbitrage arguments, okay, but these are futures, okay, and as I said, and in the when I'm considering about futures, because there are cash flows inside the system, you can't consider portfolio at 0 time and a portfolio at time t, okay, because value is getting added. But because of the statement that these can be priced in the similar way as forwards, I'm basically using the same methodology that I use to evaluate the value or to evaluate the delivery price for a forward. So I'm just doing all the calculations that are done for a forward for a future, because I for these futures, because I know the interest rates beforehand, and then afterwards the value of the delivery price that is there is going to be the same as what I would got for a forward. So that is why I'm basically getting this formula, okay. So I'm just using the correlation that if the interest rates are known, then in that particular case the futures and forwards behave similarly. I know the technique for evaluating the delivery price using a forward. I use that technique to evaluate the delivery price. That is what I've done. And when I'll be talking in the lecture later on also, today's which I'm sending you guys, you will be seeing that I'll be talking about futures, and then I will be talking about no arbitrage arguments. But there again, I'm making the assumption that this thing is being the price of the future is being evaluated using the methodology like that. It's like a forward, because the interest rate is known. A forward and a future can basically be priced the same way. Now, now the thing is, one other thing that I had not talked about, but because I didn't have time, the thing is, as far as both futures and contracts forwards go, when you get inside a contract, the value is 0. There is no money required to get inside a contract, okay. But if the delivery price itself was changing in value, okay, then forwards will also change in value. I mean, we already saw that over here for the futures contract, okay. The way to see that was way to see that, let us just consider this is the statement about forwards, okay. The delivery price changing in value, the forwards change in value. Now let us say that we have two forward contracts on the same underlying and at the same expiry, okay. I'm just giving an argument why the delivery price changes in value, forward change in value, okay. One of the contracts is entered at time t. Because it's entered at time t, the delivery price that I will be getting is given by this expression, the asset value at time t times this exponential, okay. Another is entered at time t plus 1, that is the next day. Delivery price because of that is going to be the asset value the next day times this exponential. These and these, there is these are basically fluctuating quantities. So because of that, there is no reason that this ft of 1 should be equal to ft. So what you have is that the forwards delivery price evaluated the next day is different from the forward delivery price evaluated the previous day, okay. So we have that the delivery prices for the forward contracts that are there in the market may be different, okay. So now let us say that you're on the next day, okay. So what you have is a forward contract in the market which is from the previous day having a value ft, and the forward contract today which is having a forward value ft plus 1. So you're having two forward contracts. So obviously if somebody else just wants to see about these forward contracts, it will obviously be there, the one which will have the lower delivery price, okay, because you will be lower delivery price means you will be buying that asset at a lower cost. So obviously it will be making a lot of profit. So that contract, that is that paper value that is there, it is obviously a paper contract which is basically of a higher value, the one with a lower delivery price, okay, than the one with a higher delivery price. Obviously it's a contract. So now this contract that is there, the one with a lower delivery price, will be essentially of a higher value because it will give a higher profit compared to the one with a higher delivery price. So obviously as far as the contracts go, they themselves are going to have a value, because you can basically choose among the various contracts now, because they will be all of different prices, okay. So because of that, the contracts that are there, they will basically have some kind of an inherent value to them, okay. This is not happening in the case of futures, because in the futures what is happening is that at the end of the day, all of the futures are set up to the same delivery price. So all of them are just like the same, each of them is just the same. So there is no value basically attached to a particular, you cannot exchange. If all of them are basically of the same of the same value, you're not going to choose between one or the other, okay. You could have just got into a new futures contract which essentially costs zero value, and you will basically get the same thing as anything else in the market. Okay, so because of that, the future itself is at a zero value all the time throughout its life, whereas forwards basically keep changing in value. Okay, depending upon new forward contracts that come in, and then afterwards, depending upon which one has a lower price compared to other one, you will have one of them is of a more value if you try to sell it on the market compared to any other value. Okay, value basically comes in when you try to sell things on the market. So the thing is, obviously, one with the lower delivery price will be much more costlier than one with a higher delivery price. Okay, but with the futures, everything is having the same delivery price, so you can just get into a new futures contract altogether, and you know that that doesn't cost money, because once you get into a new contract, it doesn't cost money. Okay.